showed how little vision RNG had, how little control they had, and PSG, they play so respectful, right? They immediately back off the moment that these scary teamfight ultimates come closer as Wei gets blown up. That's going to be Baron, and that's going to make the quest, as you pointed out earlier, of breaking open those inhibitors a lot easier.
And that wasn't the Baron isn't the sub-quest to the taking down the Infernal
That's a really
Soul.
big
like,
story quest right there.
Absolutely, and that's like they're skipping ahead of the story a couple of steps here, but you can apparently do it in different orders, as we are going to have a look at this replay one more time. I thought Cryan was just going to explode, stayed alive for a little bit longer, but ultimately in the end it was not enough.
And here you see the restraint from PSG, because they know they can't go into this space, right? And then the moment that Wei is asleep, they feel confident, because funneling into the choke point onto an equalizer is certain death. RNG, however, recognize that they need to go for this with Hanabi forcing them into an actual fight, but they're playing from a deficit, right? They can't just try and hard force this. They need a good situation, and Maple, not afraid, literally just flashes over the wall. And that Rebel Baron power play, that's great, but the real objective is coming up right here.
Yeah, and RNG are actually in position around this one as PSG looking to try and use their wallets and the extra heft that they have available to them to try and take them down. It's a 7,000 gold lead. Let's see whether RNG can find themselves a miracle. Once again, Death Charge to come down. Equalizer gonna find the backline for a fair bit of damage, but Ming's already dead. In goes Hanabi. The Steric's actually doing a heck of a lot of work as Doggo will secure the Drake. That's Infernal Soul. The Rumble's now dead, and Maple is on a mission. Cryan going to be his first target as Gala trying to frontline, but there's nothing he can do. The Goomba Stomp will come forward from Doggo as Xiaohu watches the pieces of his team fall apart and slinks back towards his fountain.
That's Infernal Soul, that's Baron, and that might very well be the final straw that broke the camel's back for RNG, right? Like, there's so much in the way, or standing in the way of them now to get back into this game. The inhibitors are going to fall. I don't think they can quite end on this push, but for RNG, it's going to be such a hard-fought defense. And we might be looking at the first loss of what looked like the tournament favorite at the moment.
Yeah, and it's only 25 minutes into this game as well. It has not been close. We've had to sort of temper how we explain this game, right? With how PSG have sometimes fallen behind after getting early leads, and RNG have been very, very good at closing out games. But, oh man, PSG are looking absolutely unstoppable right now. It is approaching a 10,000 gold lead. They've completed all of their quests. And this fight was just beautiful, just front to back, just play it out calmly and collectedly here for PSG.
And you still see the team fighting class, right? Because Hanabi goes for a big kick, but immediately also provides Gala with an opportunity to jump back. So Gala doesn't actually die, but he just buys time, he just buys attention. And in an even situation, an ult like that from Xiaohu might turn the fight around. However, because of how well PSG have been playing up to this point, because of all the leads they've generated, they culminate in this beautiful team fight that gets them so much and might finally put them in a position to make it work. And I'm really happy that we talked about happy games. This is not a happy game from RNG. This is just PSG playing so well.
And this is also RNG finally getting a challenge at what they've been doing all tournament long, and no one's figured out how to stop it, right? It's pick exactly these champions, basically, and out-team fight you and just play a better, more consistent macro game around the map and take you down. They've said, all right, well, we've identified what you want to do. We've understood that you're, you know, very good at running this very balanced composition that still wants to team fight. Well, we're just going to do it a little bit better than you in the earlier stages of the game, and they absolutely have done so. Really beautiful stuff so far here for PSG, as I can feel the blood pressure of North Americans going up as PSG get closer and closer to a win, because this is definitely bad news for Cloud9. Doesn't, of course, eliminate them or anything like that.
Got to be careful with that one before Double Kia goes 0-2 and we're the ones getting worried, because that's still a possibility. Because
that is very true. This
blows this group wide open, right?
Yeah.
And this is such a big win, not only for PSG, but for the entire course of the tournament.
And it means that whoever loses out of Damwon and Mad will be tied with PSG if PSG win this one.
It's madness.
It is. It's absolutely beautiful. This is exactly what we wanted. 11,000 close to the gold lead for PSG as they look to try and crash into the base. Only one more inhibitor is standing in their way as RNG, they still have a team fight or two in them. Maybe not two. They at least have one, as they are now now just doing their very best to play cleanup duty around their base that is absolutely in shambles. 2.5 minutes until the Elder Drake comes through, as well as PSG not looking like they have any inclination to stop this siege, and they absolutely don't need to. Another dredge line going to connect there from Kaiwing as the turret is going to fall down. Hanabi just explodes Gala in the back line. This guy's Lee Sin has been so damn good as Kaiwing, of course, lands another dredge line. I'm pretty sure it's targeted when he's playing it, especially in this game, as once again it's a snooze to be had for Cryan on the fountain. Everyone diving on in to try and kill Xiaohu, who is going to be able to get some back, but PSG are going to do it. They defeat the undefeatable, and RNG will draw blood for the first time at MSI 2021.
What a beautiful performance from PSG, because you can not make the argument when you see this game that it was RNG fumbling, right? That it was RNG making big mistakes. From minute one, they were looking for opportunities. They were skirmishing, they were diving, and that they are the first one to make RNG lose. That's just beautiful.
Yeah, just incredible stuff from this team. And look, RNG didn't look like they were going to go through the entire tournament undefeated, right? And it's very, very difficult. Not a lot of teams have managed to do that throughout an MSI in the past. I think it was almost Longzhu that got closest, but they weren't even able to close out the whole thing in the end. These group stages and the Rumble stages are normally a time for experimentation. This is the first time that RNG have been challenged in the playstyle that they have defaulted to in almost every single game. And PSG showing that there is a way to take it down is fantastic for the tournament, because now other teams were watching. Other teams now know that this is how you're supposed to challenge this team, and RNG are going to have to dig into their back pockets to find different ways to win.
And other teams are also going to be terrified of PSG, because if you look at the level of play that they showed here, it shows that the problem that we had with them earlier on in the tournament was some of the inconsistencies, Kaiwing being a little bit over-aggressive, getting early game leads but then losing them, over-aggression. But in this scenario, it was just well-crafted, well-executed, and a very well-deserved win for PSG.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And now we're going to have a look at PSG's drive to victory presented by Mercedes-Benz. This is the fight that led to the Baron, that ultimately led to the snowball continuing and eventually just taking down RNG. It was just their use of picks. Kaiwing's just play all day. Oh my goodness, so good.
He's been so on fire, and I loved looking at Kaiwing early on, because I feel like he walked the line between over-aggression as a support and actually just going in where you need to. And here it was no over-aggression. It was literally just every time he went for it, there he doesn't even need to hit the hook, right? He just sets it up for his teammates. And it is the teamwork with which this team was able to get those early game leads and then actually turn them into a win against what I still think is the strongest game or the strongest team right in the tournament. Lovely.
It was just amazing. Fantastic work for PSG talent. I know not exactly the greatest news for C9, but it really shakes up this group. But let's find out how Dalmon Kia chose their team anthem for MSI 2021 as they face off against Mad Lions in our next.
저희 팀의 주제곡은 승리가 부른 주인공입니다. 우리는 묵묵히 우리가 해야 할 일을 했습니다. 그러다 보니 자연스레 기회가 찾아왔고 그것을 잘 잡은 것 같습니다.
I didn't order any pizza.
Pig from State Farm. After you saved me so much dough on insurance with that Parker promo, I devised a promo for you.
Here's the deal, Parker. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Yeah, right. Pepperoni pockets, an atomic brownie, cuckoo crusty.
There's no promo, it's just great rates.
And a cider ranch. You're the man.
When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Justice. That's a pretty word. Never could stay in one place. Follow the wind. Watch your back.
Welcome back, everyone, to MSI 2021 here in Reykjavik, Iceland. I'm standing by with River from PSG Town, the first team to take down the previously undefeated RNG. So first off, River, congratulations. But I want to know what you feel in this moment, as well as why it was that you guys were the team able to do what no other team has done before in the tournament.
우선은 무패로 달리는 RNG를 처음으로 꺾은 팀이 바로 PSG였는데요. 우선은 소감 한마디와 또 어떻게 꺾을 수 있었는지, 다른 팀들이 해내지 못한 일을 어떻게 PSG가 해냈다고 생각하시나요?
일단 RNG가 이때까지 MXY에 와서 한 번도 진 적이 없었는데 그 패배를 이제 저희가 안겨줘서 기쁘고, 그리고 RNG가 되게 좀 공격적이고 싸움을 좋아하는 스타일인데 저희도 이제 싸움 쪽에서는 밀리지 않아서 그런 것들에 집중을 해서 했던 것 같습니다.
So first off, I'm super glad that we were the first team to stop the undefeated race of RNG, and also preparing for this match, we knew that RNG, they're always looking for fights. They really like to fight, and we are also really confident in our fight abilities. So yeah, we were focusing on that.
And for you personally, up against Wei in the jungle, gave over the Rumble, something that he has looked very scary and dominant on. You chose the Morgana into that matchup, but generally, what was your approach to dealing with him in the jungle?
그러면 이제 정글 매치업 좀 보자면 웨이 선수를 상대했고요. 웨이 선수가 굉장히 좋은 활약을 보여준 럼블도 풀어줬습니다. 모르가나로 상대를 하셨는데, 그러면 이번에 정글 좀 매치업을 어떤 식으로 좀 접근하셨나요?
일단 웨이 선수가 되게 라이너 개입이 조금 많아서 우디르만 안 주면 충분히 이길 수 있다고 그렇게 얘기를 해서 그냥 럼블을 주는 식으로 했던 것 같습니다.
So we had this information that Wei is really good at playing with his laner. He always, contribute a lot to his lane. So we just wanted to make sure that we are not letting him play Udyr, and we were confident in other matchups.
Now, this moves you to 3-2 overall in terms of record. And when people were looking at the standings, most people were looking at you and Cloud9 to be competing for 4th place. But I want to know how you and the rest of the team feel about where you deserve to be falling in the standings. And is it actually more competitive than people maybe make it out to be?
네, 그러면 우선은 지금 3승 2패를 달성하셨습니다. 그런데 많은 사람들이 예측하기에는 사실은 클라우드9과 함께 4위 싸움을 할 거라는 생각을 했는데요. 본인 팀이나 본인들은 지금 사실은 PSG를 어느 정도의 위치라고 보시는지, 더 높은 좀 순위에 해당된다고 생각하시나요?
저희가 원래는 4강이 목표였는데 그냥 스크림을 하다 보니까 되게 성적도 좋고 되게
Welcome back, everyone, to MSI 2021 here in Reykjavik, Iceland. I'm standing.
This is going to be a fight for second place.
They really are rising up to the top here as one of the favorites.
Some of the players that get caught before objectives, maybe they're overconfident. Unless they fix it by tomorrow, we can for sure take the game of them.
Damn it, it's a double kill over the doggo, but Carzzy is resetting. Holy Carzzy, baby! Fall, and remember, and now it's time to apply the pressure elsewhere. BioPanther mid-hop getting knocked away with a hammer. The only team that they have lost to here in the Rumble stage is RNG.
Shan1 is a team that you just can't underestimate.
Is a leaf's only purpose to fall.
Rampage.
game of our first Rumble Round Robin, and this is essentially the fight for second place. Now, I came into the day thinking it would be between Mad Lions and Damwon. Here, it's a matchup that is highly likely to determine who takes second. However, with the fact that PSG Town just took down RNG, there are now 3 teams vying for that position. We don't have a huge amount of time, so I want to dive straight into the headlines. Causey is a monster, and Mad Lions have surprised me with how high they're seeing this game.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people's kind of notion on Causey after the finals against Rogue, after they got 2v2 killed every single game in that 5-game series, that they might not be the strongest of bot lanes, but they look absolutely dominant so far in MSI. Causey just kind of breaking people's ankles mechanically, and I think that he's one of the biggest driving factors behind how Mad Lions get their success. Humanoid, a little bit inconsistent here and there, but Causey's definitely been that consistent rock that they needed.
Yeah, he's had big moments, like this River team fight that they had versus PSG, absolutely. The top River team fight that they had versus Cloud9, 100% on his Kai'Sa pick. Like, the patience that he had at this moment, and then the re-engage from Galio, being able, we're going to be seeing it soon, to flash out of it instantly. And then just take his pick of the litter in reset. I think he's been playing fantastically this tournament.
It looks so easy when you look at it from Causey's perspective, but this is crazy good performance. It's allowed Mad Lions to pick up a number of wins, and opposite him on the Rift is going to be Beryl, a player who domestically was game-changing, was huge. But Raz, I feel like Beryl is underperforming to the ability he has to play.
Yeah, because we remember is internationally, it's Beryl and Ghost 2v2 Kingdom. But when it's come to this tournament, you know, he hasn't been shining. The Tom Kench game was a poor one from him. And then on his set game, getting picked off time and again. Like, even though this team has been performing, it's not at the World Championship level that we know them for.
Yeah, definitely. And support being so important in the meta, he needs to step it up. And I won't attribute it to an individual performance from him. Yes, he's getting caught out a lot, but I think there's probably some communication issues going on in Damwon as far as I can see, just not matching up with Canyon well. He's like fake pressuring on his own too much on the wrong side of the map. And yeah, I think it must be a communication issue in Damwon.
I mean, there's also something that should be some of the bad team fighting we're seeing from Damwon, because we're seeing individual mistakes really across the board. Each player has been surprising at times, but also as we get to the mid-game and late game, Damwon seems to be falling apart. As we don't have a huge amount of time, I am going to ask for some predictions. Let's start with Raz. Who wins today and why, as we will see some of these plays?
I'm known as a bit of a flip-flopper, so even though I had a lot of chips on the dumb one, I'm going to go straight towards Mad Lions. Their team fighting has been really good so far, and I'm going to put a bet on them.
Yeah, Damwon look really vulnerable right now. I would definitely put my prediction on Mad Lions as well. Hopefully they can bring it home to the boys in Europe, but this is definitely the battle for second place.
I mean, it is a battle for second place. Of course, PSG Talent picking up a win. That conversation will get more interesting.
Oh, Cloud9 shaking.
And this is the last game in the first round robin. So we will have a post-match after this, discuss what the group stage looks like as we enter the second round robin. And we will leave it to Chronicler and the birthday boy, Atlas. Now, happy birthday, Atlas. You may or may not know this, but in Germany, if it is your birthday and you go out with all of your friends and you're hanging out, it's actually your responsibility to pay for the drinks. So by that logic, you're going to give us a Mad Lions win, right?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know whether that counts as drinks, but if that's what it is, then I guess I have to. I guess that's how it works. I don't know how you managed to get Game of League of Legends out of a drink, but there we go. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the MSI Cast Desk yet again. It is indeed my birthday, and unfortunately for those over in Berlin, we are Damwon fans, so I'm going to put all my birthday energy into South Korea to hopefully balance things out as we hop into Champion Select here. As Damwon Kia banning away the Thresh already, and the Mad Lions, let's see what they answer with. And I think I agree with Cajal, Chronicler. Mad just looking a little bit cleaner than Damwon right now. Something I wasn't expecting to be talking about at all during this tournament.
And this is the moment for Damwon to show up, right? Because while the win score 3-1 seems good on paper, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Coming into this game, I think Mad Lions look a lot stronger. Some of their inconsistencies that we saw in the first group stage have seemingly evaporated. They are playing a lot more cohesively. Their team fights have been insane. some of the liabilities, like Carzzy being a bit more up and down, has turned into Carzzy just being up, which in of itself is terrifying. And as a whole, I think Mad Lions are coming into this game very confident. Damwon Kia, we've talked about their weaknesses a lot, and it feels like they're even more overpronounced now on the international stage. And it doesn't feel like the team that we saw win the LCK Summer. And we keep waiting for them to flip, but it's possible, especially if Mad take a dominant win here, that team just isn't in right now.
Yeah. They might have just taken a bit of a vacate. Absolutely not what you want. And this, I expect to kind of be the time where Damwon turns things around, to be perfectly honest. Like, this is a team that doesn't necessarily step up until they absolutely need to. This is something that I was trying to convince you of throughout the entire playoffs. They're just a team that does tend to understand exactly when to turn it on. Well, Damwon, I think I'd probably start roundabout now. Seems like a good time. And the Kai'Sa first pick is where they're going to land. Of course, RNG did this in just the last game, and they were punished for it. Let's see whether the punishment is going to continue here as it led towards, the Nautilus pickup, and then the Udyr. As the tier list of jungler, I wasn't going to put Udyr at the very top of it at the beginning of the tournament, but now it's looking like he's pretty much a mainstay.
There's going to be Morgana, 100% for Canyon. I think Canyon's Rumble hasn't looked amazing. Whereas this Morgana, I think, in terms of the amount of pressure that he's able to generate has been great. There's been some questionable plays, but that has just been done with Kia as a whole. And I'm hoping that this is a flex pick, because Khan has had his inconsistencies, but Showmaker on a mobile AD assassin would make me very, very happy. I do really love this Nautilus pickup, and we're seeing this more and more. The Kai'Sa has really risen in priority over the course of this tournament, and that Kai'Sa Nautilus is literally the most straightforward plug-and-play bot lane that you can possibly have, where you can leverage Leage, you can find Prior, you can basically do anything with it. So happy that it's taken away. I think for Elyoya specifically, I like it more on the Udyr than on the Morgana, because I think the Udyr really enables him to go for those early game power plays that I think he's been really impressive in.
Yep.
As we get the Gnar ban, possible Silas ban, although with the Gnar banned away, it might not be as high up the prio list. And I think playing into both a Silas and Lee Sin would make me very scared, because that means it's a very do or die. But you have faith in Damwon Kia, and it is after all your birthday, so let's hope that comes to fruition. As the Alistar also taken away, incredibly strong with the Kai'Sa, not necessarily as good. And this means Barrel's champion pool is actually going to get tapped, and with Senna he has a lot of depth, but without it this might be a bit of an awkward position for Damwon Kia here.
Yeah, I actually quite like the Triss bottom lane, especially after what we just saw. And I'd like to correct you just a little bit. It's not that I think that Damwon are going to win. I actually think that Mad have put themselves in a better position in this tournament thus far for that prediction. However, you know, a boy can dream on his birthday.
My bad, my bad.
That's what I'm going for here. Is the Orianna is going to be the final ban here, and the 5th for Damwon Kia, getting rid of that from Humanoid's wheelhouse. Of course, does have the Victor if he wants to go towards something very standard there in the mid lane, and that will be locked away. When it comes to blind picks, it is a pretty comfy one, as Rel being banned shows that we are well and truly getting towards the dregs of the support champion pool.
It could be looking towards a Gragas.
Are we playing support Morgana?
Support Morgana is a possibility. Support Rumble, as also we've seen, even within the LCK. It's not very likely, I'd personally say, as this would make a lot of sense in terms of comfort for Showmaker. It's a pick that he can get so much done off. The early prior that he'll be able to leverage is going to be great. And that Morgana-Zoe combo, we've already seen in the last game how threatening that can really be. This would mean, however, though, the set, and with the performance of Barrel thus far, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think we've seen things like the Gragas support come up, especially in the LCK from time to time, but it will be the set, and I'm not loving it into the Nautilus, into the Tristana that can just bust a shot you away, into a Victor. It's possible, but it's hard to make work.
Yeah, I actually kind of like the idea of flexing the